Okay, so I'm back, better than ever. And you can see I'm working on a new output here, a new display. This is the download version of the casino. So I'm actually on that roulette. It's a higher resolution. And I've done tons of research, and I am back even stronger and better than ever. And as you can see, we're starting out here over $1,800 in profit, $32.23. So our goal is going to be $32.54 out the door, and we're going to be starting with number 32. So let's get rid of these and get number 32 down here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, and I learned a lot of stuff since the last video. So the system is now even stronger than before. The numbers we're watching, we're going to be watching number 18, 14, and 9. It's still kind of early. So we're not, I mean, in other words, things haven't really clarified as far as which numbers are really going to be strong. And let's see, if I was to summarize maybe like what I've learned in the time that I was gone, I would say the importance of statistics and of making them as much in your favor as possible. Like and that there's things that we can do to improve the statistics that we receive. And that we need to try, experiment. We need to try different things and to find the best results. And those are some of the things that I've been doing while I've been gone. And I've learned a lot, and things have gotten much better. So, I've come to the point where, there's two options, right? When I withdraw, there's a fee that my bank charges because it's a wire. I'm wiring the money into my bank account. So, because of that, I'm thinking that the best method is to withdraw at the maximum. So the maximum that you can withdraw here is $1,500. So that's what I'm thinking of doing, withdrawing at $1,500. But another idea has surfaced, and it keeps happening to me. Like another way of, again, improving the statistics is to increase my unit size to three chips. In other words, 75 cents. 19, 18, and 14 is where we're at right now. 19 has just become strong. If I didn't say so, I'm sorry. 19 is now strong. So it's 19, 18, and 14 is what we're watching. Okay, so as I was saying, by increasing the unit size to 3, now the bankroll that I would need for that is $4,500, which is about the area where I want to be withdrawing. In other words, $1,500, it's the same amount. $4,500 can either be a withdraw. Okay, so number 19 just took over as the strongest number on the board. I want to switch to it, but 32 is still a strong number, and you'll see that even if it doesn't hit right now, it's going to come back. That you'll see number 32 again if the session doesn't end beforehand. But I'm going to give 32 a chance to hit here. I'm going to give it a good 20 spins to come through for us. That's what I'm doing. And meanwhile, 19 is like the number of choice. I mean, no matter what, unless another number becomes stronger, I'm going to be switching to 19 automatically. So just saying. All right, so the numbers we're watching now are 30. Well, obviously 32, but 30. The number 3 and the number 18. The number 3 just became strong, and we're watching the number 18 as well. Yeah, there's so many automated things that I've done now that, man, I used to do a lot of stuff manually, and now I don't have to do that anymore. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, so if I'm at 75 cents, 3 chips, that'll maximize my earning power. But there's also something else about it too. In other words, I don't have to start out betting at 3 chips. In other words, I've stretched it out as far as I can at this point, and I'm obviously going to keep trying to make it go farther, but right at about 1 in every 1,200, one in about every 300 sessions, there's going to be a small loss, okay, that I'm going to, accept rather than risk more. I'm just going to accept the small loss. It's like 1 in every 300 actions. So what I could do is and then like when one of those sessions occurs, I can go from 2 chips to 3 chips so that I would recover even faster, which is minimize my exposure. As it is, the chances of it going back to back like that though is like back to back is like 1 in 200, over 1 in 200,000. It's really, really rare to have it go back to back. But at the same time, with every session that you play, the chances of it occurring become greater. Now, how much greater? Not very greater, because it's a very rare event that you have a loss like that. Having minimizing the exposure, also increasing the speed of be able to catch up. Usually on a small loss like that, I catch up in 1 day. If the statistics get ugly and I get more than 1 while I'm trying to recover, okay, it takes a couple days, 3 days, whatever. But it's fast. It's like I'm usually recovering it in 2 days, 1 day, 1 to 2 days. That's basically it. And this would just make it faster, more secure, because ultimately the goal is to have a steady income, right? And so if when the bad, because you have to face it, even though it's a rare circumstance, it's 1 in 300 sessions, it will happen. Okay, the losing session is going to happen, and so to be as prepared for as possible is essential. So that's why having the 4,500 is that much better, because then I can just move to 3 chips after a loss and recover even faster, minimizing my exposure and making my income more steady. Okay, so while I've been talking, the number 32, still watching it. Number 3 and now it's number 21. Number 21 took over for, I think it was 18 that we were watching. Okay, there's 0. Okay, so now we're watching the numbers, obviously 32, but we're watching the numbers 3 and 21. Here we go. Alrighty there. We got paid. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to move to 19, like we were discussing. So here's what we do. And so we're basically betting that 19 is going to hit before 32 does. So making it official. And here we go. Alright. Yeah, 32 hit was kind of late. As you noticed, it took a little while. It was like I was actually within 1 spin of switching, so it was definitely a late hit. And as you can tell, we're $30 out. We barely got any profit out of it, but that's okay. you know, the longer we play, the better the statistical picture get, the more accurate, the more we're able to see what's actually going on. We're still watching 3 and 21 right now. So, okay, there's 35, neighbor of 3. Yeah, this layout is a little more entertaining than the other one. The wheel's more fun to watch. You can actually see the numbers better, and it's a little more exciting the way the ball drops. You know, it's like you're trying to see if it's going to drop in your number, and you know, there's a little bit of question which pocket it's going to drop in. You know when it's like real close, and you know it's likely to hit your number, but it could just hit the number next to it. You know what I mean? It's like that type of thing. Yeah. And we don't track a ton of numbers. You know, there's numbers lurking in the background that could become strong any moment. So it's because, you know, you're going to get a selection of numbers that are strong, that are just going to be strong. But we only want the ones that are the strongest. So we cut it off. You know, we're watching number 3, number 21. That's pretty much all we're concerned about. And I think the chances of number 19 coming in are really, really good here. So just saying, that are better than usual. Like right now, I'd say there's about a 20% chance of me getting a hit. But in reality, if I look at the actual statistics, man, I'm telling you, it's more like double that or something. I mean, it's over 50%. You know, but I don't actually track it. I should, because it's so much fun to track stuff like that. But I'm not tracking it, you know, and it doesn't really actually matter, but, you know, the odds are just very good that 19 comes in. Better than usual, put it that way. I mean, usually I get a hit in, and then the number has to last that long as a viable selection, but I usually, I get a hit at 91. I think it's 91.67% of the time. So that's how I've got the odds set up. So now we're talking higher than that. So I mean, there's more than 91.67% chance of me getting a hit on this number 19. So that's even better, in other words. Thing is, we could end up switching. I mean, it's possible, but something has to become stronger. Like, in other words, the scenario would be that number 3 is stronger than it was. It's still the same relative position of strength, but like number 32 or number 3 can hit first. Okay, if they hit first, and then a certain number of spins goes by, then I'll switch out of number 19 and still have the same. I mean, not the same, but I'll still have the favorable odds of at least 91.67% chance of hitting. But that would be the other scenario, because either 19 is going to hit here. Either 19 will hit, or like 32 and 3 will hit, and a period of spins will go by. So it's going to be one of those two scenarios are going to happen. Yeah. And again, I mean, I just maintain over a 90% win rate. So, and then actually the system, if you look at the actual win rate of the system itself, it's like over 99.5%. You know, when I finally get down to it, because sometimes you take, you know, some numbers just don't come in, and you have to accept that the 91.67% fails, you know, that it doesn't come through. It happens. You know, it happens in, I would say, one in every 190 sessions, you're going to have a loss. Is that right? No, it's not. Yeah, well, the 95, right, then, I mean, if we're talking about, right, that's right. Yeah, like 1 in every 190 sessions, there's going to be a small. No. Well, what happens is the win rate for the system itself is like. Let me just look that up real quick. Here. 1 in. Yeah, like 1 in 300 sessions. So there you go. And it just kind of sucks that you have a loss rate like that, but, you know, there it is. 25 became exceptionally strong here and jumped in from nowhere. Like, we didn't even see that it was happening. I'm going to give it number 19, which is strong. I'm going to give it a good handful of spins here to come in. And we'll see. Otherwise, I'm switching to 25. And by the way, 32 did come in. I didn't even notice. It just now came in. So, yep, 32 actually hit before 19 did. But in order of nature, natural order, number 25 is going to be stronger. And so, going to be switching to it very shortly. A few more spins. Okay. A couple more spins and I'll be moving to 25. Alright, so here we go. Alrighty, so let's keep moving. And yeah, I mean, 25 has a greater, well, yeah, 25, I mean, you can put it this way, it's sort of a relative thing, because we switch from selection to selection. But yeah, 25 has over a 91. Or you could just say that 25 has a 91.67% chance of hitting. I mean, any number that the way it works out is it has a 91.67% chance of hitting here. So I just choose the way that I bet the numbers. The statistics stay the same, but I just choose the method, the bet selection method. And I stay consistent with it because I think it's the best way to go. But I mean, the secret is ultimately it doesn't matter what you bet. The statistics are going to hit. You're going to receive the statistics that you're going to get, regardless of what you bet. And it's a very hard concept to swallow. There, it's a hard concept to actually believe in and act accordingly. But that's the truth. So, you know, this 25 is strong. In its history, it's had it has had one hit outside of expectation, which makes it stronger than. I mean, just in my opinion, is it stronger than other numbers that don't? I don't know, just my opinion. Dang, we keep hitting in that section of the board there with my number, but not hitting my number. Section of the wheel. Okay. So right now we're at about 70% chance of hitting. And it just gets better the more spins we make. Number 19 almost hit. Number 19's out of the picture. Well, let's see, what are we watching? We're watching number 32, because it did come in. 4, and number 3. Number 4 is stronger than number 3, by the way. Number 4 has actually, you know, become very strong. 15 hit again. Okay. But 32 in order of nature is stronger. So we're watching 32 and 32, 4, and 3. Okay. And this session is going a little long, giving us a little bit more trouble than usual. It could end quickly. So who knows? It may turn right around and end within 30 minutes. In the next 10 minutes, it's possible. We'll just see what happens. And maybe I can get some struggle in here. You know, a lot of times what happens is if the video gets longer, the software will eventually crash. And I think there's some sort of a sync thing that it's doing across the entire recording, and it causes it to overload. Not sure. I just don't even know what goes into making an audio recording software. I have no idea. There's 19. Let's see if it comes back on the picture. Yep, it's back. It just woke up. So, I don't know. I'm not switching right away, but I expect that number 19 is going to be a major player here. And that's what happens when numbers don't show up. They don't just go away because they're actually strong numbers. And right now we got about a 77% chance of hitting. And so I'm expecting number 19 to be continue to be a strong number here as time goes on, but I'm going to be staying with my existing selection, number 25, which in the order of nature is going to be the strongest among 32 and 4. But it's starting to, you know, get old in the tooth, and that's what happens. If numbers don't stay fresh, we need to get off of them, you know. And yeah, they come back, but we don't need to be on numbers that are not fresh. And even though they're gonna come back, it's you know, it's just we need to be on the fresh ones, put it that way. Because there are numbers that are fresh out there, and we need to be on them. So the main thing we want to avoid is switching all the time, like switch. That's where, I mean, ultimately it supposedly doesn't matter. But in my tests, I mean, you know, when you switch numbers frequently, it affects your statistics negatively. Whereas I think if you exercise some reserve, I think it improves your statistics. And I mean, ultimately, I don't think it. I mean, again, bet selection just never matters ultimately. But I mean, it just makes sense, you know. And I've seen the difference, you know, like I run statistics for like if you chase the last number that hit, if like all you do is like right now number 9 hit, so you'd bet number 9. If you do that, you actually get worse statistics than you do if you just leave it on any number and just leave it there. So I mean, to give you an idea about, you know, if you switch too much, it hurts you. Okay. And I mean, the main thing is we just want to stay consistent, you know. That's bam, see. Okay. And let me put this in here. All right. So now we go back to number 19. Okay. Again, another late hit, right? So this is where the struggle comes in. The hits are late. All right. Yeah, so again, consistency is really the only weapon we have to to make sure we don't like shoot ourselves in the foot. Okay, number 19 is again strong because it has this negative occurrence in its history, and it's like the top number on the board. So it's going to be stronger. So I'm really looking forward to this number hitting here. I hope it hits as soon as possible. I'm just saying. And I cut the sessions off. If I don't get my goal in 5 coups by the 5th coup, I automatically quit the session. Number 4. So we're watching number 25 and 4 and 32. So 32 is still part of the picture. And 19 also has to hit soon enough so it doesn't become, you know, stale, like a stale number. We don't want to be betting stale numbers. So we do need it to hit quickly, otherwise we're going to consider it like it not actually waking up. Like, in other words, it woke up, but only for one hit, and then it's going to go back to sleep. You know, one of those deals. So, you know, that's why we need it to hit quickly, so it doesn't become that. So we're watching 25, 4, and 22. 22 has become on the scene, on the picture. Yeah, and there's 32. Okay. So 32 is back. And so now we have 25, 4, and 32. Yeah, 19 is, if it doesn't hit soon, we're going to go back to 25. And 25 is going to have a really good chance of hitting. Oops. Alright, so it'll be 32 instead. What's going to happen is 19 is either going to hit or it's going to drop off, and if it drops off, we're going to 32. If it hits, we're going to 32. So no matter what, we're going to 32. Just depending upon, we just need to know which one is it going to be. Is it going to drop off or is it going to hit? And again, it's not gone. In other words, if number 19 doesn't hit, it's going to come back again. It's not going to be, it'll never be like out of the picture. It's always going to be somewhat relevant. Okay, we're at 30 minutes now. So this is going to be like the longest video so far. I hope it doesn't crash, because you could see some more switching, you know. see, we're giving number 19 a really long time to, to find the hit here. We're not just dumping it. Because, it's the strength of its performance that's holding it up. I mean, it's been a strong number. And so we give it the opportunity to prove itself, Ooh, 25 hit again, so we lose. Yeah, all right. But number 32, by order of nature, number 32 is stronger than 25. And the number's own performance is going to dictate, when it becomes stale. So we're just watching it. That's the thing, the scope, like we're more focused on spin, but when it comes to straight up numbers, the scope is like every, 37 spins. So we have to widen out our view to accommodate that and take that length of view. I mean, I look at numbers that go back 70 spins, and I'm looking at a history that goes back 70 spins, So we've already spun the wheel 144 times. I mean, it takes 15 minutes to spin the wheel 70 times. So, I mean, 15 minutes of work, of analysis. It's basically the window, the scope of the window. What's been happening, say, in the last 15 minutes. I mean, that's based on this wheel speed, this RNG speed. But if you're in the brick and mortar, then, I mean, that's what? It's like, shucks, it ain't 15 minutes. What is it? Let's just think. If we're talking 70 spins, that's like an hour and a quarter. 75 minutes. Your scope is probably around 75 minutes in a brick and mortar casino, which I wouldn't play this. Okay, there we go. Number 19. It hasn't dropped off, but it is. It has missed. It has missed, and it was so strong that it made it the whole way. So, but anyway, we're going to be switching back to 32 now. And yeah, this is a rough session. I mean, obviously, it's mild compared to the worst sessions like that 1 in 300. That one is. That one doesn't fit into a recording because it takes an hour or two to resolve one of those. All right, so straight up number here. Okay, I'm gonna be tracking this here. All right, let's get going. So we're watching 25, 19 still, and number 4. Number 4 has been this underdog. It's been tracking us all this time. Never in the limelight, always in the background. Number 4. Number 4 just dropped off. Because number 26 came on the scene. 26 has become relevant now. It's been hitting well. Number 25, 26, and 19 are where we're watching. So that's the thing, you know, once you get your scope. Oh, right, I wouldn't play this method in a brick and mortar because it takes so long. There's 25. Yep. All right. So 32's got to put up or shut up here. It could drop off at any moment. It's got to hit. There's number 4 in the background. Wow, back on the scene. It took over. Yeah. So we're watching number 32, 26, and 4. Obviously, we're watching 32. So 26 and 4. I wouldn't play this method. I have a different method that I would play in a brick and mortar because of the like if you have to do a recovery with this method, man, you could be playing for 12 to 16 hours just to recover in a brick and mortar. That's insane. That's a level of insanity. Number 25 to see it's hot. And nothing we can do. I mean, we can't be led around by the nose. It can't be switching everywhere all the time. So, oh well, we just got to take our lumps. That's what we're doing here. Taking our lumps. And this session, you know, prolonging itself. We're talking 36 minutes now. So, I'm in it to win it. We're just going to stick with it here. And it could end up resolving quickly, but up to now it hasn't. It's been going real slow. But I mean, I need 3 more coups, and then I'm done regardless of what my totals are. Whoa, number 4. We're just talking about number 4. And we're now watching, number 4 is the strongest number on the board. We're watching number 4 and number 26. Those are both strong numbers, 26 and 4. I mean, they've both been like historically really good numbers. Number we're on, number 32, is like really good too. I mean, it's like, gosh, gang, it's definitely. I mean, I definitely expect a hit here, within expectation. Like, I definitely expect it. I don't always get what I expect. That's the thing. And we got to be prepared for that. So that's it. Just be prepared for when we don't get what we expect. Because most of the time, we get what we expect. Put it that way. Okay. I'm with number 32. It's a very strong number. I mean, it could be a little bit stronger, but I'm with it until it drops off. So, could drop off any second. But again, the strength of its own performance will dictate what happens. And all the numbers are being stubborn. So, that's this type of session we're having. And, you know, what we just hope that it turns, like it doesn't turn into a loss session. Like, you know, it goes into even deeper struggles. Like, so far we haven't seen the deeper struggles, which, I mean, this is still considered, put it this way, this is still considered a smooth session. Even though it's going slow and we're not getting our profits and our hits and they're coming late, all the hits are coming late and everything. That's still, at this point, it's still considered a smooth session. That's level 1, you know, and it's going to stay at level 1 the vast majority of the time. The statistics, the static statistics for it, are 91.67% of the time, which is over 9 out of 10 times, we're going to have a smooth session, okay? And I don't know if that's actually the statistics. And what's happened? There we go, okay. Because there's a cumulative probability that goes involved with that. Like, in other words, if I'm taking 5 coups at a 91.67% chance. The fifth coup is like 62% or something like that for cumulative probability. So, I mean, I don't always take 5 coups, but just saying there is that aspect to it as well. I mean, from my sessions, I mean, the vast majority, I mean, it's definitely the vast majority of sessions are smooth. And then you have level 2. Level 2 is where your 91.67% doesn't come in. Okay, so now what you're doing is you're recovering. Okay. And I don't run massive sessions of recovery. I mean, in other words, if a session goes into recovery level 2, as soon as I get back to any profit whatsoever, I'm out of that session. And the statistics have to be, really messed up to generate that. You know, once it goes outside of that, the statistics are really out of whack. And so then it's just about a recovery. That's all. And then once you get to that spot, it's over a 98% chance of just ending it right there. Like 98% of the time that it hits that. I mean, that's 9.8 times out of 10, 98 times out of 100, over 98 times out of 100. The session ends after that one failure because it's so whacked out, you know. So then it really it becomes more and more rare to the point to where it's like 1 in 300, which is like 99.5%. Over 99.5% of sessions are going to end within, you know, are just going to be one sessions, you know. And then finally to actually get to a point to where you lose, you accept a loss. Okay, so now we're going to move back to 25. Wow, number 32 was really strong, just like 19 was, which 19 has dropped off out of the picture. So we're not watching that anymore. All right, so let's continue on with 25 now. And it's a strong number. What can I say? It is. Yeah, and then you finally get, you know, I mean, I guess level 3 will be where there's multiple losses. Not losses, but where your 91.67 doesn't come through. It happens more than once in a single session. That would be level 3. And then finally you have level 4, and level 4 is where you know, things have gotten really, it's extremely rare session, 1 out of 300. I mean, the actual odds of it occurring are over 1 in 12,000. 1,200, sorry, over 1 in 1,200. But the thing is, you bet. I mean, I'm talking about betting 4 times in a session on average. Basically, it takes four coups to close a session on average. We'll just say. I mean, I haven't really done the average. I'm just, you know, just saying, hey, you know, that's just normally what happens. And so if you take the 1 in 1,200, you divide it by 4, you end up with 1 in 300. So I mean, that's where I'm coming up with that. So it's 1 in 300 actual sessions. Will there be a level 4 event where at that point it's gotten out of hand so much that in order to close the session, you have to risk a larger portion of your bankroll. Like, you know, you're as things continue to get out of hand over and over, there's number 19 come back. Let's see what it does here. Yeah, it's still relevant, but just not in the limelight. That's what happens. It's just woke up, and it's just not in the limelight. And so yeah, so you end up with that final session, and you kind of, you know, the swings are just too great. In other words, what it comes down to is risk versus reward. Okay, the reward is like what? Like 1 unit of profit or something. I mean, or whatever it is, you know. Even if it's the full 60 units of profit that your target goal, or it's even more than that, it's not worth risking your bankroll over. You know, where you're risking. I mean, like in other words, if this next bet doesn't come in, I mean, you're risking hundreds of dollars versus a gain of like $30. You know what I mean? It just like the risk versus reward becomes too great, and you realize, like, you know, you're like, wait a minute, you know, this session is like a 1 in 300 event. Okay, this thing happens once every 300 games that I play. Actual sessions. It's a 1 in 1,200, over a 1 in 1,200 event. Why should I be risking large amounts of bankroll over something that's that rare that I can make up? So then you learn, you know, like, okay, so instead of pushing it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a loss. And usually the loss is like, I mean, it might be around 400, 500 units. And 400, 500 units you make up in a single day, you know, usually. Okay, we're getting closer here to a level 2 event. Yeah, we're real close, actually. Very close. Number 4. So we're watching number 13 as we become strong. So 13, 4, and 30. Actually, is what we're watching. 13, 4, and 30. Okay. And yeah, it looks like, I don't know if the recording is going to hold up, but it's probably going to crash. But we're at a level 2 event here. Yep. Okay, so let's implement that. We now have a level 2 on video. So this will be the first one, actually, and then I expect the software to crash here soon. So if we can resolve this quick, then it'll work. It'll be recorded. So anyway, what we need to do is put this in. Okay, we're going to stand number 25, and we got over a 91% chance of hitting here. So. Oh, and by the way, over a 98% chance of closing it without going to a level 3. Over 98%. So if the video can hold and not crash, then you'll see it close. You'll see this session close. I hope. Number 9 is whoa. Yeah, it's now the strongest number on the board. We're watching number 9, number 13, and number 4. So yeah, I really like it. Like, in other words, over 98% of the time, we're going to be closing this out without moving to level 3. This single loss event is a level 2. 21. Okay. So 92, almost 93% chance of hitting here. See, the odds get really good. I mean, it really, the statistics get really out of whack. And it, like I said, like 1 out of 300 times it can go to a level 4 event, but 98% chance here of just closing this out right here with a profit. Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, the software is straining to keep up here at 50 minutes. I think it's gonna clean enough here. We need a couple of hits, and until we get them, can't end the session. Not with a profit. And you know, it's just, that's the thing. The session's being stubborn. It's going slow. Numbers that are just, they're just going slow, and we bet them. And it happens. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. No matter what your bet selection is, you're gonna run into this. There's nothing you can do. All you can do is prepare for it, you know, and deal with it. But you can't avoid it completely. Okay, so we're going to stay on number 25. The strength of its performance is holding it up, and no other number is stronger. But if number 9, sorry, number 9 has become, as I mentioned earlier, number 9 has become really strong. If number 9 takes action, any action whatsoever, I'm going to switch to it immediately. Right now, that's the only number that could do that, number 9. The only other thing that's going to take me off of this is if number 25 drops off. So, I'm on 25 until it drops off, or until number 9 hits, basically. I mean, something extraordinary could happen. There's 32. What just woke up. And what woke up before number 19? Yeah, it hasn't done anything. Number 19. But it's not out of the picture. It's out of the picture in the sense that we're not tracking it, but it's still relevant in the sense that all it has to do is hit a couple times and it'll be back on track again. And that's the thing. I mean, that's what I said earlier about roulette. It writes in crooked lines. It doesn't write in straight. I mean, sometimes it does, but it just, generally speaking, doesn't write out what it's doing in straight lines. It does it in crooked lines. So number 19 is like a top performer, but it's going to be a top performer in like a way where it goes to sleep for, you know, a while, and then comes back and like becomes number 1, and then it stays number 1 for a while, you know, and then it's gonna maybe goes to sleep for a little while, and then it comes back, like that type of thing, you know. So it's not like totally straight lines, and you kind of have to navigate. Like as I mentioned in another video, it's kind of like a maze. You know, you got to navigate through it, and the only way to do it is to be consistent, to pay attention what's going on, to track the progress, and be consistent, and that's what we're doing. And this is what wins sessions. Staying in touch with the statistics. Okay, so number 25 just fell off. It's became stale, and we're now moving into number 9. Okay, so let me go ahead and make this official. I'm going to track this number. Okay, so here we go. And let's see if this is it. I mean, right now we're at 54 minutes. If we can get a quick close to this game, you'll see how it closes out. Number 24, so, okay. Now, the numbers we're watching are number 30, okay, number 13, and number 4 as usual. Number 4, the outlier. Number 4, the number that keeps haunting us. Okay. And right now, we have a 96% chance of hitting. And we're about to... Oh, man. So... Yeah, we're about to have multiple losses, it looks like. Is that right? No, not yet. Not yet. We still have time. We're still at level 2. And we still have a 98% chance of... over 98% chance of closing this session out. We're in great shape, in other words. Number 28, right? Yeah, so we still have over a 98% chance of closing it. We're not out of control yet. Just having a tough session, and that's another thing. You kind of have to have, you have to be kind of courageous, because you've got to go through the negativity and understand and not allow like our emotions or our mental attitude to overwhelm us. You have to look to the statistics, believe in the statistics, and understand them. And you have to make important decisions, based on those statistics. So you can't become emotional, that type of thing. It's like right now, it looks like, oh man, it's like I'm freaking out. I'm in terrible shape, right? There's number 19. We were just talking about that. Let's see here. That qualifies. And yeah, it's definitely awake, officially awake now. But it's just a little bit out of step because it's been asleep. But, that's the thing. Like I said, number 19 is going to be a top performer. That's how Roulette's going to write this story. It comes back, it's a couple quick hits, and it's back in the limelight again. And that's what I'm trying to say. We have to widen our scope. We have to follow the statistics and pay attention and then make decisions, objective decisions based on those statistics. And we have to understand, because when you're under it, when you're at a level 2 or level 3 event, it looks like nothing works, but in reality everything is working. Everything's working just the way it's supposed to, and you can't see it. In other words, the recovery is like instant. It's like bam, all of a sudden you get 3 hits in 15 spins and the game's over. But before that, you had hundreds of spins, and hardly ever got a hit. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. You got to be number 4. Yeah. A lot of numbers are vying for the top spot. Number 30, number 24 now, and number 4. Okay. And so that's it. You just got to stay within that zone. Right now we have over a 97% chance of hitting. It's insane. It's number 21 again. And again, an over 98% chance of closing it. And you can't tell. Right now it looks like everything's going wrong. But in reality, you're over 98% chance of closing the session out with a profit. So, and that's the thing. It's so you have to have that faith. You have to have the knowledge that that's what's happening. So that's it. That way you can make clear decisions based on, because once you hit level 4 events, once you go forward, you have to make a deal. You literally have to decide when to cut the session off. You got to be thinking clearly to make the best decision. But every other event, level 2 and level 3, see there's number 19, see what I was talking about there? It comes back, okay, and it's just, again, slightly out of step. There's a lot of strong numbers on this board right now. Number 30, number 24, number 4, and there may be some outliers. So again, you know, Roulette wants to write number 19 in. I mean, it already is a top performer. It'll always be, it'll always be relevant. The question is if it's gonna, you know, what degree of relevancy does it have at any one time. Right now, other numbers are more relevant. So it's not a bad number though. If you were betting groups of numbers, like at a brick and mortar casino, I still wouldn't be betting it. I might be. I mean, actually, I use an entirely different bet selection at a brick and mortar. So I don't use this because again, you don't want to be in recovery for 12 to 16 hours. I mean, you don't want to do that. And then at the end, you actually go home or you go to the room or wherever you're going. You actually leave down, you know, like 500 units or something, you know, 200, 500 units. It's that's just like not a good thing to be doing at a brick and mortar casino, in my opinion. I'm just saying, if you can avoid something like that. In other words, you don't want to. I mean, it's okay to leave with less money than you came in with. That's if you did it on purpose and everything. But that's good. But if it takes 12 to 16 hours to do that, I don't think that's what I'm looking to do. So that's why I don't use this bet selection at a brick and mortar, because it's the wheel doesn't spin fast enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm spinning here 2-3 times a minute. You know, just keeping these spins up. You know, can't do that at brick and mortar. So, ooh. All right, 21 again. All right, so 21 finally, you know. It's another outlier like number 4. Number 4 just happens to be just a little bit faster, a little bit quicker. But 21 and 4 are like brothers. Still recording over an hour. It's going to crash any moment. So if we get our hits, that's great. If not, you'll never see this video. So, what am I going to say here? A lot of competition for this top spot right here. Oops, looks like number 13. Yep, number 13 just got it. So we're switching. And it had to be right at the time. Right at the time. Well, it had, otherwise I wouldn't have switched. Man, there's over a 98% chance of hitting here and closing this session. Dang, unbelievable. This could be it right here. This could be our deliverance right here. So let's hope to see if the software will continue. Track number 13 here. Okay, so let's go. Good. This could be it. Over 98% chance of hitting and closing this session out with a profit. But eventually, you know, your 98% fails. That's the thing about statistics, you know, it's going to happen. So that's why there's always, that's why it's kind of difficult to deal. Ooh, there's number 9. That's why it's kind of difficult to deal with statistics, because it's never 100%. That's the thing about it. And you learn to understand what the statistic means. Like, you know, hey, you know, over 9 out of 10 times, this is going to come in my favor. So you understand that. And then you understand the difference when it doesn't. You know, like, okay, I understand why this isn't working. And then at the same time, you understand the gravity. Here we go. Bam. Okay, so now we got our hit. And in good order. Okay, so first off, take this out of here. Okay, we need to moderate this. Okay. So we're going to stay with number 13. And here we go. Strongest number on this board. And again, we have a 98% chance, over 98% chance of closing this session out with a profit. So let's see if number 13 is the number that's going to deliver that for us. It's quite strong. That hit was very well expected. I definitely had a lot of confidence in that. At this point, it's just looking good. I mean, in other words, it's like the top number. I think it's going to continue to get hits. It's just not as strong as it was prior to this last hit. Prior to this last hit, it was uniquely strong, And then the hit before it. Those two hits would have been great to have been on number 13, for those two hits. I would have been very happy to do that. But it doesn't, the timing doesn't always work out to where we're on the numbers at the time that we want to be. Because if we take that sort of a mindset, where we try to always be on the numbers, look, we'll be hit by too many options and we'll be switching our numbers too quickly, and I think that can have a negative effect on our statistics, which I don't want. And then it comes down to the fact that, of course, no matter what you do, the opposite of what you're doing is going to happen. And you have to accept that. You just have to do what you think is best at all times and stay consistent. Stay consistent with it. And that's it. That's all we can do in the face of random. Unless you have some way of, better predicting. The overall strategy is based on how random number streams behave. So, it's... Okay. And we're in good shape. We're still in excellent shape. We're only on level 2. We can close the session out very quickly. Very quickly. You can get 2 hits right away. So. Recording here. Bingo. Here's one of them. Okay. Now, all we need is one more. And we're in just great shape here. I hope I get this on recording. This is so cool. If we can get this on recording here. All I need is one more hit. Number 19. Still just slightly out of step. Definitely relevant, just not as relevant as other numbers. Like right now we're watching number 9 still, believe it or not, number 9, number 21, and number 24. Those are the numbers we're watching. So, oops, 32, out of step. Still relevant. See, that's what I'm saying. You get this group of numbers, like I call it the good old boy network. It's the numbers that are on the list. And even though they go to sleep for a little while, they're always relevant. They're always right in the background. They come back. They get hits quickly. And they're always in the picture. It's the good old boy network. And numbers like 19, numbers like number 4, numbers like number 32, all the numbers that we've bet are all part of this good old boy network. And it's just, the way it works is that Roulette doesn't write things in straight lines. Numbers go to sleep, just like people do. And, they go to sleep at night, they wake up in the morning, just like people. So, you just kind of you gotta learn how to flow with that. You gotta flow with that. Let's hope, come on, let's get a hit here so I can get this recording. Come on. Yes! 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 Hurry. Bingo, baby. Now we're at 32.41. Our goal was 32.54. We're ending this session because we don't want to. We're not risking. No. There was way too much work to get to where we are right now. So we are ending this session at 32.41. People, you saw it. 1 hour, 10 minutes. A level 2 event that closed out at 98%, over 98% certainty. And you saw it here. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.